The Gastlecast is back with more bad news. Well, if you've watched our channel long enough, you know we bring the most grim Funko news ever.
Yeah.
We're kind of known for it. It's one of our things. Like, maybe you should subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because you want to see some really grim shit. And I don't know what that makes you. Maybe a little bit of a weirdo because you're not searching out positive information. If you want to be a negative Nancy like us, keep on watching.
You're really drawing them in, Chris.
And hit the like button while you're at it, you dope.
Hey, whoa.
So the big bad news of the day, actually it came out yesterday. It's about the Funko Fusion game. So I want to tell you my experience with the Funko Fusion game. I downloaded the demo. I enjoyed the demo. I thought it was pretty cool. But it didn't really grasp me so hard that I had to buy the game.
I wanted to buy it and I wanted to keep playing. However, the game kept glitching and freezing.
It was a single player game, so Heather and I had to take turns back and forth. In fact, we played it here on the channel.
It was like the olden days when you had a Nintendo 64 and you were the fifth person in the room.
So I had promised that we would purchase the game, but we were going to wait for Black Friday. But I did not see Funko Fusion on Black Friday, as far as I can remember.
I was looking for other stuff.
But a lot of people...
OnlyFans deals.
What?
What?
But a lot of people who watched the channel, they were reaching out to us and they were saying, hey, I love the game. It's really great. I've been playing it hardcore. And then I saw people in our group, Gastlecast We Hunt Together, they were playing it. In fact, they were collecting skins. They were trading skins, which basically is the way your character looks. And they were doing all sorts of fun stuff. So I was like, man, this is really enticing me. But still, I didn't buy the game. And now here we are, months later, and we're hit with this. Dun, dun, dun.
That's not how it goes.
Well, how would it go?
Dun, dun, dun.
Funko Fusion's complete commercial and critical failure, quotes, leads to layoffs. We are no new channel to layoffs. We talked about layoffs here on the channel way back when, a couple years ago, when Funko had a massive layoff, not a part of a video game, but instead a part of their workforce, mostly artists. There was artists that were affected. A lot of people were affected. Now here we are again. The game currently holds a Metacritic score of 54. Holy crap. And it seems like sales weren't much better. According to a report from Insider Gaming, the game's complete commercial and critical failure was the catalyst for recent layoffs at developer 1010 Games. Funko Fusion was the studio's first game, and the tepid response has apparently resulted in the team struggling to find funding needed for more than one project. As a result, around 20 staffers were told that there isn't enough work to give the whole team. So that's really sad. And I hate talking about these types of things on here, but it seems like lately, all we talk about are failures by Funko. Like, they just can't get anything right. And my original thought of this game was that it was going to be incredible. We talked it up big time, even before it came out.
Yeah.
In fact, when we played the demo, we talked it up because we really enjoyed it.
It was so much fun, aside from it, like, not working the way it should.
Well, I thought it was going to be like the next Lego franchise. You know how Lego games are like incredibly popular?
Yeah.
I didn't think Funko was necessarily going to topple them over, but it was at least another game series that you could play with your kid and have fun while doing it. I don't know what happened. Felt like it had all the ingredients to be that, but it wasn't. And the weird thing was not being able to have two people play at the same time on the screen. Now, I don't know if that's something that had eventually changed, but at the time that we were playing it, there was no two-player option.
No, there was not. We had to take turns with the same controller. It was weird. When I put it in my hands, it was still warm from your hands, and I did not like that.
And when I got it back from you, it was wet. So explain that.
I could, but it's not rated for YouTube.
You slimy little beaver. Come on, I called you a slimy little beaver. You don't like that?
If I called you what I want to call you, they would call the police on me.
So not having two-player is trash! People want to play with their kids, like, at the same time, like on the screen. Like, they want to see the little characters running around.
Back and forth.
What were they thinking? I don't understand. Why did we not do that? It would have been brilliant.
This is making me wonder, though. They're talking about the Metacritic score. We played that game Broforce, which is like the dumbest, most pixelated game ever. But we had the most amount of fun. What is that rated? Wow.
It's rated 83. Well, I mean, that's one of the greatest, like, games like that in a long time. Like, I love...
It's
like
so dumb,
It's like a little... But it's so much fun. Like, that's what matters. It's so much fun. Broforce? Has anybody ever played Broforce? It has an eagle sound.
Yeah.
I've beaten that game more than any other game, I think. According to those who spoke to Insider Gaming, staffers were encouraged to take their holiday time during the holiday season. This was apparently done in an effort to avoid paying out the time after the staffers were let go. These staff members have also claimed that severance packages are not being offered. Does that sound familiar? Remember Funko did something like that, if I remember correctly? And the bare legal minimum is being given to those let go. 1010 Games has yet to offer any kind of statement about the layoffs as of this writing.
This is interesting, though, because I thought these were the same people as Lego, but you had mentioned this was like their first game.
Yes, their first game ever, but I don't know if anybody ever said it was made by the Lego people. Maybe people who worked at Lego formerly.
Maybe it was just us saying it seemed like a Lego game, but I could have sworn like I read it somewhere.
This type of game could have been so popular because it's not only for adults, but also kids. Mm-hmm. And then it's also a family game. Like, it had so much going for it.
And a collector's game.
Yes.
Because you could collect the pops and then use the codes in the game.
Wonder what Metacritic says about this game. There it is, the old slimy Beaver 54. Many things are out of order. For example, the frame rate is unstable. I did see a lot of that. We saw it ourselves. The game has annoying bugs.
Yes.
I heard about that, remember? We talked to a friend and they could not beat a level.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost impossible. It is often unclear what the objective is. We ran into that ourselves. While the concept is good, the technical execution was very disappointing.
I can see that.
That makes sense based off of the things that we were hearing and even off of our own experiences. We sort of faced the same thing. One of the newest things I heard about was this. The Wicked content coming, and people were pretty excited about it.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Layoffs in the video game industry have become unfortunately common over the last few years across studios of all sizes. The issues with Funko Fusions are part of unfortunate trend in that regard. Unfortunately, there were several signs that the game could be in trouble ahead of launch. While Funko Pops have been massively popular, the cultural movement seemed to have shifted away from toys, with many of them now clogging up landfills.
Hold on.
Holy crap. So that link takes you to hundreds of Funko Pops found at landfill after news 35 million worth would be destroyed. I remember when this happened. The popularity of the toys or the figures, was that really a big part of this? If the popularity was at an incredible height like it was a couple years ago, would this game have done better? I want to say no. I want to say that it has everything to do with the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, if people like the game, they're going to share that. They're going to talk about that.
Yeah, regardless of whether it's Funko or not.
That's what I think. The developer of Funko Fusion managed to obtain the rights to several popular IPs, including Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and Five Nights at Freddy's. But it seems that the game still could not generate much interest. And so, very much like with the Funko Pops, even if you have the best IPs in the whole world for your figures, it still will not do anything for you. At this time, it remains to be seen what this might mean for future support for Funko Fusion. On February 14th, the game added DLC based on classic Universal monsters. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So Dracula, Wolfman, Invisible Man. Meanwhile, a physical release of Funko Fusion is supposed to be released for Nintendo Switch next month. I have a bad feeling about that. The ports to Nintendo Switch, if it had bad frame rates on PS5, how's this going to work out? If Funko Fusion was truly a catastrophic failure, this report paints it to be. It's possible 1010 Games could shift its focus towards the studio's next project while moving away from any future planned content for the game. So it sounds like there's a possibility of this just being given up. You'll see Funko Fusion in the Walmart, the little bins where you just pick it up and buy it for $5. That would assuredly disappoint anyone that did enjoy Funko Fusion, but it's also unclear how much else the studio was planning. If the developers were planning more, shifting resources away from a game that's already perceived as a failure could help the studio turn things around. Hopefully 1010 Games will address these layoffs sometime soon and offer a clearer idea of what's happening behind the scenes. It's terrible. I hate to hear people being laid off. I hate to hear this bad news, but obviously we're here to share it. I really honestly thought that game was going to be really popular.
Same.
I thought that people were going to love it. And when we played it, I was like, oh my God, this is just a demo. I bet you the game is going to be so great.
Yeah.
But we heard about a lot of these issues, about not knowing what to do in the game, about the glitches. I heard a lot about the glitches.
Yeah.
Glitches are bitches.
I agree. And not the good kind.
No.
Because sometimes you got like bitches and hoes, but...
I know. Different area codes too.
Yeah, this is not the good kind.
Well, that could be the end of Funko Fusion. Unless, what if for some reason the studio is like, let's pump this mofo up. And they go in there, they fix it, they make it great. But is there any value anymore? Funko isn't as popular as it once was, just like that article just said.
But again, does that really affect the popularity of the game? Because if it was a good game, it could stand on its own, in my opinion.
Well, I was going to say the same thing, but add on to that by saying, what if the game was so good that it made people go out and buy Funko Pops?
Yeah.
Because the Funko Pops that came from this game
were cool as
were
shit.
Incredible Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And we all wanted them. Remember, they had some of the Thing Funko Pops. There was also Megan was another one. Shaun of the Dead. So it's interesting that this is all working out the way that it is, although you don't hear people talking about this game anymore. It was talked about when it first came out, but now you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's a sad day in both the gaming world and in the Funko world. But you know what? When I saw this headline, I was not shocked. Because I feel like every time I look at a Funko headline, it isn't good. What'd you think of Funko Fusion? Did you expect this? Did you see this coming from a mile away? Are you sad about this? Do you want to go and play more Funko Fusion and get more DLC and more characters? We want to know all that and more in the comment section down below. I personally would love to play that game, to really give it a chance, and hope for more DLC, but I'm not going to do any of those things.
Yeah.
In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Cody Wilcox, Larissa Ellis, Bad Juju, Jewy Prime, Heather Coy, Joe Grioli, Fawaka, Cody Laws, and Matthew Watt. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast. This upcoming weekend, we'll be going live with our patrons via Google Meet. It's on February the 22nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. However, we are going to start that call at 8 p.m. Eastern so patrons can hang out for an hour before we come on at 9. We're going to have all sorts of giveaways, show you some really cool upcoming Mischief Toys things, such as a brand new Mischief Toys tumbler that we do not think you're going to want to miss. If you love tumblers, you're going to want to see the news on this. And we also have a little bit more information as well to add to that I think you're going to love. Check it out at patreon.com/Gastlecast. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and the little bell. That way you'll know anytime we go live or post brand new content. Hit that like button. It helps this channel in a super way. All right, that's all we've got for you. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying until the end. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.